Are you a beginner crafter trying to learn how to stamp? Then this is the video for you. In this video, I'll show you a step-by-step tutorial of how to stamp clean and crisp images, some supplies needed as a beginner, and tips and tricks to help you get started. Before we get started, you might be asking the question, what is stamping?
Stamping is a technique used in various crafts such as scrapbooking, card making, and even some forms of printing.
Now you know what stamping is, so we can move on to the materials that you will need to get started. First material, of course, that you will need are the stamps. Now there are several types of stamps that you will need for your crafting projects, but what stamp you choose really depends on what your crafting project is.
One of the cheapest and more common stamps out there is the wooden rubber stamp. I would say this is one of the more difficult stamps to use because it is hard to see how you're positioning the stamp, which will make it harder to use. The next option is the clear rubber stamp. Clear rubber stamps are mounted onto a transparent acrylic block so you can actually see what you're stamping. Then there's a rubber mount stamp where you can still see the design and easily mount onto the stamp. This is also a good option because you can see a clear image of your design rather just an outline.
Now if you don't feel like buying any stamps and you want a budget-friendly option, you can carve your own stamp with either a pink eraser or a rubber sheet and a rubber stamp carving tool. If you want a stamp carving tutorial, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Now you have your stamp, you're gonna need an acrylic stamp block, but if you have a wooden stamp, you don't really need to worry about this.
There are 3 sizes of stamp blocks: small, medium, and large. A lot of experienced crafters also recommend purchasing a stamp press like the one from Fiskars because it allows you to position multiple stamps at once and also apply the perfect amount of pressure for optimal transfer of the ink.
Now we discussed stamps and stamp blocks, it's time to dive into inks. There are so many inks to choose from and there are so many different applications, so let's dive right into it. First, you have the clear inks, which can be used with clear, white, or colored embossing powder. Moving on to another option, which is pigmented color ink, which can come in many different colors.
I think the best option for pigmented color ink is definitely the Color Box ink pad. You also definitely need a pigmented black ink, and the best option for this is the versafine Onyx black ink.
Next, you have your distress inks, and distress inks are a little bit different from the other color pigmented inks because they are a dye ink, which means they dry faster.
These inks can be used for many different applications such as watercolor, blending, embossing, you name it.
Finally, you have your chalk ink, which gives you a more matted finish. With so many different options available, that opens up a lot of creative possibilities for your stamps. So if you want a detailed tutorial of any of these inks, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Now we have the stamps, the stamp blocks, the inks. What do we need to clean the stamps?
To clean your stamps, you're definitely going to need a stamp cleaning liquid like the one I have from Recollections, or a stamp cleaning pad, which is also from Recollections. I will be linking all of these materials down below, so be sure to check it out so you can follow along with me.
Now you have all your tools, you're ready to start stamping.
First, apply the stamp to the ink pad. Be sure to cover the entire surface of the stamp by patting it down multiple times. Then hover over and position the stamp onto your surface, making sure that it's straight and aligned in the way that you want it. Finally, press down on the stamp firmly and press with your fingers evenly throughout without moving the stamp so that you will transfer the design onto the surface. After stamping, make sure to clean your stamps and store them back in their packaging or stamp case to prevent the rubber on the stamp from accumulating residue and making it difficult for the stamp to stick to the acrylic block.
If you would like to learn more about paper crafting and card making, I have a full playlist dedicated to teaching you the basics, which I will be linking right above, so definitely check it out. And if you enjoy this video, click the video on screen because I will be teaching you the basics of embossing, which is another essential skill to know as a crafter or a card maker. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye!